Correct.
Now, okay, so well, first off, I had read recently about the cannabinoid system in humans, which is a receptor for cannabinoids, right? So what that says, I guess, is that through evolution, the human body has adapted to the use of cannabinoids for since we've evolved as human beings. So it's kind of interesting to note that evidently the human system has been ingesting cannabinoids throughout our evolution. It's kind of a surprising thing to find out, isn't it? For me, it was anyway.
It really is extraordinary. And when I found out about that system, I kind of got mad because I thought, wow, all this time, we could have been working on our health, and instead we've been living in a lie of propaganda. And obviously we know these motivations are political and financial, where special interests would benefit from the prohibition of marijuana. And now we are at somewhat of a crossroads too, where you see these big entities like big hemp, big alcohol, big pharma. They see the wave coming and they're trying to figure out how they can capitalize or seize on the green wave, so to speak. So we need to be, remain vigilant and make sure that we don't let those special interests railroad our health again.
I had read that in the beginning when hemp was sort of considered, let's say, maybe around between the World War I and World War II period, hemp was becoming a miracle product. They were using it for textiles and rope and all kinds of things, and it was a valued product, Of course, you had the medicinal aspect of hemp too, but it was as I had read in one article, the textile industry, who were threatened by hemp, right? They came out against it and lobbied against it and turned it into something that was banned, basically because it was hurting their financial interests back at that time.
Correct.
It's amazing, and there's an example of how hemp, quote unquote hemp in general, was demonized for political purposes, it seems like, by the textile industry,
Yeah, so as I said on the last time I was here, it was this perfect confluence of special interests, right? So you had companies like DuPont and other synthetic fiber makers who didn't want to compete with hemp. You had this wave of modernism where a more of a German model was adopted, and it said all alternative methods were considered heresy. So chiropractic care, herbalism, cannabis was all kind of ruled out of the medical protocol. And then you've got the white nationalism at the federal government level, seeing this as an opportunity to persecute people of color and Mexican immigrants. So all those three things coming together, they had one interest: take out hemp or take out cannabis, and that's how we got here today.
I guess, one thing we hear about pretty often is for post-traumatic stress disorders, which a lot of people who've served in combat came back with. The medical marijuana has been a big help for them to sort of get there, be able to feel good again, right? And be able to kind of get a grip on things, right?
Yes, there are several patients that I work with closely who are ex-military, they're veterans. They served in combat. Some of them sustained life-threatening injuries, and they both, or the two that I'm very close with, they've said cannabis has saved their lives. And that is because traditional pharmaceuticals don't complete the job for everybody, right? They can only do so good for so long, whereas medical cannabis, you can use it all throughout the day in whatever amounts that you need, and there are little to no side effects. So yeah, a lot of veterans have, and other people in general, have said that medical marijuana has saved their life or given them their lives back. Right. In terms of the quality of lives that they're living.
Me too. I mean, I've heard people that, in sports, for example, in different aspects of life, who have come forth and said, that this, whether it be CBD or some other derivative of hemp, marijuana, medical marijuana, whatever, it saved their life. It basically gave them their life back after either being in pain for a long time or maybe some aspects of mental anguish of some type. So many benefits.